Never say never. Yeah, yeah. Never, 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 never. See, I never thought that I could walk through fire. I never thought that I could take the burn. I never had the strength to take it higher. Until I reached the point of no return. And there's just no turning back. When your heart's under attack, gonna give everything I have. It's my destiny. I will never say never. I will fight till forever. Make it right. Whenever you knock me down, I will not stay on the ground. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, 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 up. And never say never. Never say never. Never say never. Never say never. Never say it. Never say it. I never thought that I could feel this power. I never thought that I could feel this free.